What's up guys, Leviathan here back with Pokemon Fire Red Walkthrough Part 7. This time we're going to be exploring around Pewter City. There's not really much to do in this city except for battle Brock and go to the Space Museum, but I don't really think much of the Space Museum. I just see it's a waste of 50 Poké dollars just so you can look at some fossils and stuff. This guy tells you that Pokemon learn new techniques, so does the kid. Well, the kid talks about status problems. Like, you can find TMs, technical machines, that contain moves that you can teach to your Pokemon, and some moves are okay, but when you beat Brock, you get TM Rock Tomb, which is a pretty decent enough move when you think about it for on the start of the game anyway. But that's not on the point right now. Now we're going to be exploring around Pewter City. Pewter City Gym Leader Brock, a rock solid Pokemon trainer. I think that pretty much gives a hint of what Pokemon he uses. In case you didn't know, he uses rock types, a Geodude and an Onix, which they're not pretty hard to take out. It will be difficult for me with Pidgey and Charmeleon, but with Charmeleon I should be able to take it down with Metal Claw. This guy in here tells you that Pokemon won't obey unless you have all the gym badges. Unless you have the sufficient gym badges that will support the level. But I think that Nidoran pretty much obeys that little trainer there. This guy here talks about the museum. Unless you want to get brought to the museum, I suggest you say no. I mean, yes. And whenever you try to leave, that guy will just bring you back, so there's no point in going over there. This bug catcher, well, I presume he's a bug catcher anyway because the attire. When you talk to him, if you say no, he'll tell you about repels. Repels keep away Pokemon lower than the highest level, than the level in front in your party, or on the same level. So they're pretty good when going through caves if you don't want to keep running into Zubats and stuff like that. Which is pretty much what I will be doing in Mount Moon after I see every Pokemon and probably catch every one of them in there. So now I'm gone into the Space Museum, $50. As you can see, I'm pretty low on money, spending a good bit of money in the Pokemart. I think I bought 10 Pokeballs, but I'm not really sure. Here's an Aerodactyl fossil, which you get when you get the old Amber later on in the game. I think you might only, you need to get to Cinnabar Island so you can do it. But if you get cut later on, and when you get Fly, if you return to Pewter City, which you probably will do, you can get the old Amber in the other side of the Space Museum. That was Kabutops. I think he comes from the Dome fossil. I don't know. I'm not really sure. Those always confuse me. I usually pick. I don't really care which one I pick because I don't use the fossilized Pokemon. If I wanted one, it would probably be Ammonite and Amistar because you have the water and rock advantage, which is pretty good. That leaves like ×4 damage to grass type Pokemon, which can be pretty bad. But there's not really that much grass type Pokemon in the game unless you go against the Aroma ladies or something, whatever they're called, that only have Bellsprouts and Oddish. And this guy talks about Neil Armstrong walking on the moon. I didn't think that news occurrences in real life really happen in Pokemon games, but I suppose they proved me wrong there, and proved that whenever you play Pokemon Diamond and Pearl and Platinum, when you go to the GTS station, that you can select your country of origin. So I'm gonna head back down to Viridian Forest, just for tell you. Well, I don't really need to go back down, but I'll just head down there anyway. I'll just go through the percentages of catching Pokemon or finding Pokemon. You have a 40% chance of finding a Weedle or a Caterpie, 10% chance of Metapod or Kakuna, and a 5% chance of getting a Pikachu. So that clarifies that Pikachu is pretty rare. Other than that, I'd say that's pretty much the video, so stay tuned for part 8 when we face up against Gym Leader Brock.